It's now time for your favorite in-depth basketball show with the myths, the legends, Nard Dogg, and Raindrops Nard.
You're listening to Full Court Press. I am Justin Raindrops Goulet, and I am joined as always by the one and only Nard Dogg, David Bernardi. How's it going, Dave?
It's going great, man. How are you?
I am fantastic, good sir. We got a very special episode of Full Court Press. I'm really excited about this one. Later on in the episode of FCP, we have an interview with Andrew Nicholson of the Orlando Magic.
How about that?
This is huge, man. I am so excited about this. I'm throwing the credit over to you, David, because you're the one who got this interview, so kudos. Thank you very much, sir. This is very big for Full Court Press.
Thank you, Goulet.
I am very excited about this one. But let's get right into our talk before we get to the interview. Let's look at the NBA playoffs. Right now, we're in the thick of things. We're in the conference finals. Spurs, Thunder, Heat, Pacers. What do you think about this?
The Pacers, they're like, whatever's happening behind the scenes, it's not going well with that franchise.
No, not at all. You look at Lance Stephenson, for example. He's trash-talking his mouth off. Like, he's going hard on the smack talk, but he can't back it up.
What is he doing? Honestly, Lance Stephenson, what are you thinking? In saying stuff like this, you're not going to get a good contract in the offseason.
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers... Lance Stephenson, he's a good player, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers got rid of him during the offseason.
He's not going to be back. If they try to bring him back, they have to trade Hibbert or do something with George. They're not... Stevenson is gone.
Where do you think Stevenson would end up, though?
Well, who's stupid enough to give him a big contract? The Knicks? Well,
maybe the Knicks. We've seen their track record with signing these big stars.
Well, the Knicks, if they lose that, or if Carmelo Anthony doesn't come back.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to follow Lance Stephenson's path during the offseason because I am so sure that the Heat are going to the NBA Finals again, and you could almost guarantee that Stevenson's going to be out of Indiana during the offseason.
Yeah, I honestly don't think the Pacers will mind.
No, not at all.
Great player. It's just...
But it's attitude problems. That's the thing. You got to have a good attitude to fit on a team, to have that chemistry. If you got the skills, like I've played with a lot of guys, even in high school. I'm not going to name names or anything, but I played with guys that had the potential to be really good players, but their attitude was garbage. And that's not going to help you in the long run.
Game 4, one thing I'll agree with Stevenson on is he went to the basket late in the fourth quarter for a lay-in. It did not look like he touched Wade at all, and he gets called for the offensive foul. The ref is right there. You can obviously see Wade turn his head back like he got shot.
Yeah, I know it's a little too much, and I know we're kind of bad-mouthing Stevenson, but that's one thing you'd give him.
Yeah, Wade's not going to get fined.
Yeah, you look at someone like Lance Stephenson, he was charged $5,000 for flopping. But the interesting thing there is, do you think his attitude problems had something to do with that, or do you think it's more of a superstar treatment in regards to Dwayne Wade?
It's more about respect, and Wade's a superstar.
Well, and Wade's a superstar, and even though he flops, he's always respected the referees for the most part.
Yeah, he's respected referees because he always gets the calls.
Exactly. Well, so it's almost they almost cancel each other out.
Now let's turn it over to the Western Conference.
I think, in all honesty, we're going to see Heat Spurs in the NBA Finals. Even though the Thunder have Serge Ibaka back, and he pulled off a great performance in his return game.
Oh, wasn't that special? He started off the game 4 for 4 from the field.
Oh, it's amazing. It's fantastic, but I don't think he's going to make a big enough difference to overcome the Spurs. The Spurs are on too much of a roll. They're too powerful this year, and I think they've just got a straight shot to the NBA Finals.
Spurs win in 6.
So at the end of the day, it's going to be Spurs and Heat in the NBA
rematch.
Finals. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I wouldn't actually be that disappointed if the Spurs ended up winning the NBA championship this year, just to see something different.
Oh, I would love that. Well, it's not really much different.
It's the same two teams in the finals as last year, but we have a different champion.
Wouldn't it be fun if it was Pacers Thunder?
That would be very exciting. 2 young squads, but I don't think that's how it's going to go.
One day.
Toronto
Raptors.
One day, sir. Toronto Raptors.
We can dream. Resign Kalo.
With the way that we're going, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually down the road you see the Toronto Raptors, at least in the conference finals. But shying away from the NBA playoffs, you brought this to my attention. I think we discussed this last episode of Full Court Press, but Kevin Love, there's new rumors going around about Kevin Love?
Yeah, the Sacramento Kings are willing to trade for Kevin Love, even if there's a possibility that he won't resign.
Wow.
Yeah, just what would they give up, though, the Kings?
Rudy Gay?
Rudy Gay, like I can't see them giving up on DeMarcus Cousins. I know he has attitude problems, but the guy's a gem at center.
Oh, exactly. He's probably their biggest provider on the Sacramento Kings.
A pairing of Love and Cousins.
Oh, that would be just pure domination. You got that power forward and center spot, the 4 and 5, it'd be huge.
But the Wolves are obviously asking for Cousins.
Oh, of course. That would make the most sense. That's a fair trade right there. But I would love to see Kevin Love with DeMarcus Cousins, although I'm not a huge Kings fan these days, at least.
Yeah, the one positive the Kings have been getting Love is they play in California, and that's where he went to UCLA.
Exactly. So he has that connection already. We're talking about Kevin Love. Let's shift it over to Kyrie Irving going to Cleveland land. And we'll talk about Cleveland when we talk about the NBA draft, of course. We've got to bring that up. It's a big shocker, and I was kind of upset at the draft results. But we'll talk about that later. Let's focus on Kyrie Irving. He's expected to decline a max contract offer. Why do you think he would want to do that?
Well, there's been rumors all season about him being unhappy in Cleveland. Personally, I wouldn't be happy in that town either.
But he's a star there. I guess he just wants to play for a contender, a team that's doing really well. But the thing is, Cavs didn't do that terribly this year. They only finished in 10th in the Eastern Conference. It's not too shabby.
10th, and they get the first overall pick.
Yeah,
third time in 4 years.
Isn't that insane? Let's talk about the NBA draft. When I saw that the Cavs got the first pick, I was just totally shocked. Dumbfounded at that. Because, like I just mentioned, they finished in 10th place. They were 33 and 49 on the year. Then they get the first pick. You'd think a team like Milwaukee or Philadelphia, even Orlando, would have the edge because they're the lower tier teams in the East. Even someone like Utah, 25 and 57 in the Western Conference, you think they'd have an edge over.
I would have loved it if Utah got the first pick.
They pick up Andrew Wiggins and he goes to Utah.
Kind of happy Philadelphia didn't get the first pick. They would have picked Wiggins.
And you can't not love the city of brotherly love.
As a Raptors supporter, he would love playing in Philadelphia.
Oh, for sure. So what else do you think about the NBA draft? Like, we got Cleveland at first, then Milwaukee, Philly, and Orlando got the fourth, and Utah. That's the top 5.
I don't know. I'm just interested in who's going to be first overall. Everyone's saying Joel Embiid, but there is a slight chance he could be a bust. I feel like he won't be a Hashim to beat. Seeing that guy on the bench the other day with the Thunder, yikes. Everyone thought that guy was going to be the next Mutombo.
But that did not happen.
Mutombo.
And then we got Boston, LA, 6th and 7th picks. Isn't that a rare sight to see? Two of the best teams back in the day, and they've got picks 6 and 7 in the draft.
A lot of NBA conspiracy theorists thought that it was possible that Celtics and Lakers would get 1-2.
Could you imagine if that had happened?
There'd be an uproar. The NBA would lose a lot of fans.
Riots in the streets.
Just to see Wiggins in LA, Parker in Boston. Oh.
That would be very interesting.
That would not be fun for the NBA.
NBA
fans.
No, not at all. Let's look at the Toronto Raptors, of course. We are big Raptors fans. Let's see what picks they got. They got the 20th pick in the first round. We've seen some good people picked at number 20. So it's not a terrible spot for a team that finished third in the Eastern Conference.
I feel like they should go Canadian in this draft.
Yeah?
Yes.
Who do you want them to pick up?
I would love it to be Nick Stauskas, but I don't think he'll be around the 20th pick.
I think Stauskas is projected to go 14th or 15th.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, around that mark. And 14th, 15th, that's Phoenix, Atlanta. They got 14 and 15. I could see him going to Minnesota at 13.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could totally see Nick Stauskas in Minnesota.
But if Tyler Ennis is there for the 20th pick, you got to give him a look.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, no, for sure. You definitely have to do that. And we've also got the Raptors have the 37th and 59th pick in the second round. There might be some sleepers, but you never know what could happen really with the NBA draft.
Go all Canadian and get Melvin Ejim.
Yeah, get Melvin Ejim, yeah. Revamp the roster so it literally is Canada's team.
Can compete with Cleveland Cavaliers for most Canadians.
Hey, there we go.
Depending if the Cavs get Wiggins.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Well,
the Cleveland Canadians.
The Cleveland Canadians. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Nice ring to it.
Yeah. The Cleveland Cavaliers of Canada. Now, I want to switch things up, and I want to talk about our favorite basketball movies. What's your favorite basketball movie of all time?
I don't know if I have a clear favorite, but Blue Chips, starring Nick Nolte, Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway.
I've never seen Blue Chips, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never, ever seen that movie. I know about it. I know that Nolte, Shaq, and Hardaway are in it, but I've never actually watched it.
It's really good. You got to check it out.
Have you seen The Sixth Man with Marlon Wayans and Kadeem Hardison?
Oh, I saw that was that 15 years ago?
That's a movie that's going to make you cry, but it's a fantastic film. If I watched it now, I'd probably realize it's not that great, but when I was a kid, I absolutely loved it. That's a good one. Celtic Pride, or Celtic Pride, if you will.
Oh, is that the one with what's his name from Home Alone?
Oh, Daniel Stern.
Yeah, and
Dan Aykroyd.
And the Waynes.
Yeah.
Damon Wayans?
Damon Wayans. I believe it's Damon Wayans. That's a hilarious movie.
Well, Damon Wayans played for the Utah Jazz, I believe.
Utah Jazz, I think so. And their favorite team, of course, was the Boston Celtics.
And what they do is they kidnap him.
Kidnap him and hold him for ransom or something. It's pretty funny, actually. I like that. Like Mike is obviously a childhood classic. I love Like Mike. But I got to say, my favorite basketball movie of all time is Coach Carter, no doubt.
Oh, you always talk about it.
Oh, I absolutely adore Coach Carter. I saw that movie when it first came out in theaters, so I was probably about 13 or 14, and it was just an inspiring film, and it just made me up my game. I wanted to play harder, play better. Just such an inspiring movie. I actually watched it about 2 years ago again, for the first time in a while, and it's still one of those movies that just tears at the heart. It's very powerful. It's a great film.
Yeah, there's so many good basketball movies. He Got Game.
He Got Game, starring Ray Allen as Jesus Shuttlesworth, of course.
Finding Forrester.
Finding Forrester, there is basketball in that. That's a central theme of that movie.
And how are we forgetting Space Jam?
Space Jam, of course. I brought Space Jam up on the show before you joined me with Andrew Ueno, one of the hosts of OHL Weekly. Space Jam that's a classic.
Did you hear the latest? There might be a sequel with LeBron James.
Oh, yeah. Well, myself and Andrew, we discussed that. If you're going to make a sequel to Space Jam, the only person you could have in the lead role is LeBron James, because he is the Michael Jordan of this generation. Because Kevin Durant already did the film Thunderstruck, so you're not going to get Kevin Durant.
Wait, what movie is this?
Thunderstruck, starring Kevin Durant, Jim Belushi, and Brandon T. Jackson, one of the guys from Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
What is that?
It's basically Like Mike, but with Kevin Durant. I have it on DVD, actually. I haven't watched it yet. Maybe we'll have a movie night, a full court press movie night one of these days. Watch Thunderstruck.
Basketball movies all day.
Of course, sir. Now, we brought up Ray Allen and He Got Game. That leads into our next segment, Fun Facts. You brought up these facts. You haven't told me any of these, so this is all genuine reaction.
Well, I'll start off with, yes, Ray Allen. His real first name is Walter.
So is it Walter Allen? Walter Ray Allen?
Yes, sir.
Oh, delightful.
Maybe you'd think John Stockton or Magic Johnson had the all-time assist record in a game.
It's not him. I know who it is.
You do?
Is it Scott Skiles?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
30.
30 assists in a game. Who is he playing?
He is playing against the Denver Nuggets.
What team was Scott Skiles playing for in that time?
Orlando Magic.
So what are some other fun facts, David?
There was one NBA championship that the Celtics had in the 80s. And you'd think Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, or Robert Parrish would be the MVP. But no. Cedric Maxwell.
Cedric Maxwell? Why? I know Maxwell.
In 1981.
I know Cedric Maxwell.
Yeah, but you would never think out of those three legends.
When you hear Celtics winning a championship, yes, it's either Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, or Larry Bird that you think of would be the MVP.
You're going to love this next one. It has to do with Allen Iverson.
Oh, Allen Iverson's my favorite player of all time.
Back in the 1999 playoffs, he set the NBA record for 10 steals in a game.
Oh.
Against the Magic.
The Magic. See, everything's connected. This interview with Andrew Nicholson was meant to be. I'm so excited for the listeners of Full Court Press to hear it. What's the final fun fact you got for us?
Oh, this goes down to Muggsy Bogues, star of Space Jam.
Oh, one of the stars of Space Jam, of course.
The shortest man ever to play in the NBA at 5'3".
5'3".
Had 39 blocks in his whole NBA career.
Oh, really?
Including one on 7-foot Patrick Ewing.
What? Oh, that is wild. I thought you were going to say Sean Bradley for a second, because he got dunked on and blocked by everybody. He's also in Space Jam.
So was Patrick Ewing.
Hey, there we go. Everything is connected on Full Court Press. Space Jam, Orlando Magic, and speaking of, we're joined on the line by Mississauga native and Orlando Magic forward Andrew Nicholson. How are you doing today, Andrew?
Doing great. Yourself?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Now, first question I want to ask you is, where did your basketball journey begin? Where did it all start?
It all started when I came back to Toronto from North Carolina. I actually lived there for 4 years. I started playing Phase 1 in about grade 10. That's really where it all began. From that point, I went to Father Gates, started playing in high school. I actually played a year in Brampton as well, too.
What made you decide to go to St. Bonaventure?
It was really close to home. I was really interested in the science program that they had there, and I also wanted to be a part of a program that was actually rebuilding the whole thought of going to Bonaventure was, to help bring the school back to where it was before.
Exactly. What was the whole college experience like?
Oh, it was fun. It was great. I mean, you go to class, and when you're done, just go to the gym, work on your game. I definitely had a great 4 years there. It's something that I would obviously never forget.
When did you know you were ready for the NBA?
I would say about towards the latter part of college. Basketball started to become easy to me, and I just continued to work at it. And then, I kind of got in the spotlight, and just made it one of my goals to make it.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I guess the NBA was always the goal then.
Yeah. The NBA was always the goal. Yeah.
Now, what was that feeling like when your name got called on draft day? That must have been amazing.
Oh yeah, it was surreal. I mean, that was just the beginning of something new, something I always wanted to hear him say. Just call my name and tell me what team I was going to go to. So it was definitely very exciting.
Very awesome. How does the NBA game different than the college game?
There's a lot more space. It's a lot faster paced game. It's just different techniques you have to learn. Like I said, it's very spread out. It's very good for like one-on-one players. Now,
being Canadian, how does it feel to be in the NBA?
It feels great. You kind of represent your country in a national stage. We got a few more Canadians coming up, and a few more in it already. So it's definitely showing that Canada basketball is up and coming.
Exactly. What do you think of the growth of Canadian basketball? Because it's growing each and every year, you could say.
Yeah, it's definitely growing each and every year, and it feels good to be a part of that growth. We have a good young set of guys coming in this year, so just look forward to see what we can do.
Do you ever dream of playing with the Toronto Raptors?
In the NBA, I would love to play with anybody. I just love actually playing basketball. It doesn't matter which team. Just the fact that I'm playing and representing myself, family, and stuff would be good enough for me.
Now, how has your life changed since joining the NBA?
I'm still the same guy. I still do the same things. It's just definitely a lot more busier during the season. And off season, I just mostly work out and stuff. I'm back and forth between Toronto and Orlando.
Now, I know you actually have a basketball camp running this summer at Father Gates High School, your alma mater, actually. Where did the idea for the basketball camp come from?
It's just a way of, giving back. I always wanted to, I enjoy working with little kids with basketball, and I remember, being one of those kids at a basketball camp, just how exciting it was and how life-changing it was for me.
What kind of drills and skills are offered at the camp?
We offer, like, ball handling, passing, shooting, just all the basic fundamentals that kids will need to become successful. We have a great, coaching staff who's going to be, spending close attention with the kids. So each day they'll be getting better and better, and that's really the goal, for them to be better than what they were when they came in the camp after.
Oh, it's fantastic. Is it something you plan on making an annual event?
Yeah, I definitely plan on making an annual event. This is the first year, so we're just going to see how everything's going to go. I'm just really excited to be able to work with the kids and get them to become better basketball players.
Where can people go to find out more about the camp?
You can go to www.44hoops.com. It tells you a little bit about the camp, what we offer. For when the kids come, they get free gear, t-shirt, shorts, they get a basketball, lunches included, all that, all in there. And the register form is right there too.
That's going to be awesome. You know what? If I was actually within the age restrictions, I would probably attend, but obviously I'm a little bit older now, so I can't actually go to that. But no, I think it's great what you're doing for the community, and I think you're going to get a fantastic turnout. So I think it's going to be a great success.
Definitely, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
That's good. Now, I just want to go back to the NBA. I know you guys struggled a little bit this year, the Magic, not to, kind of just not to come on too strong, but it was a tough year for you guys. What do you think you need to improve on, like maybe on a personal level and as a team? What do you think you need to improve on going forward?
I mean, as a team, we're a young group of guys. We're still learning the game too, but we're spending the summers together. We're working out together, just getting that feel, just that continuing to build that team chemistry. I mean, personally, I'm not the 100% player, so I can work on everything on my aspects, offensively and defensively. So I'm just concentrating on everything right now.
That's good. Get that all-around game going.
Exactly. Yep.
I got a fun question to ask. If you could meet any NBA Hall of Famer, who would it be?
I'd like to meet Elijah One. I'm definitely a big fan of his footwork and what he does as a forward.
Well, I guess he is a pretty big influence on you because you're a power forward. He's one of the best big men of all time, so I could assume he's a big influence on your game.
Yeah, definitely. I used to watch videos of him, how he used to, destroy people in the post. So yeah, it's very entertaining to watch.
Hakeem the Dream, man, he was great.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. What does it feel like playing with guys that you used to watch growing up on TV?
I mean, it feels good. I mean, once I'm on the court, I kind of see them as regular players, but, before the game was like, hey, I used to watch this guy play. And it's just really cool experience.
What are your thoughts on Canadian basketball in the future? We got Wiggins, Stauskas, and Ennis coming in the draft this year.
Oh, I think we're going to be definitely good. We have a lot of young potential. You know, we've got a young group, and we're just going to continue to work together and become better as a nation.
So is the Olympics the next plan?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a goal for us. We're consistently working on you know, our chemistry and everything, and just playing together. You know, just getting repetitions. So that's definitely a huge goal for us and what we want to be.
No, that's awesome. Definitely great to hear right there, because as we've been discussing, Canadian basketball is growing and growing each and every day and every year. It's fantastic to see. So I can see great things for the future of Canada basketball, especially us going forward in the Olympics. I'm really excited to see how all that all goes down.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me too. I can't wait.
Well, anything else you want to add, Andrew? Do you have Twitter or Facebook, anywhere people could connect with you online?
Yeah, my Twitter is NICHOLAF44. Now just go out there, follow me for details on the basketball camp, and yeah, that's about it.
Fantastic. Well, Andrew, just on behalf of David, I want to thank you so much. This was a lot of fun to talk with you, and I wish you the best of luck going forward.
Definitely. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Thank you, good sir.
For sure. Thanks.
Again, I want to thank Andrew for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure. So much fun to talk with him. He's a great player. He's representing Canada in the NBA, and Canada basketball is growing each and every day. What do you think about the growth of Canada basketball, David?
I'm loving it. To see Wiggins, Nick Stauskas, Tyler Ennis potentially going in the first round this year, it's special.
It's huge. As a Canadian who loves basketball, who's played basketball his entire life, it is indeed very special.
I don't think 10 years ago people would have thought this would happen.
No, not at all. Because you look at back when the Vancouver Grizzlies were around, Toronto Raptors started up, people thought it was crazy to have a pro basketball team in Toronto and in Vancouver. Obviously, the Grizzlies moved to Memphis.
And luckily, the Raptors got Vince Carter.
Vince Carter really helped out. So kudos to Vince Sanity, because he really helped put Canada basketball on the map.
Yeah, everyone says Steve Nash, but it's really Vince Carter. Around the GTA, it's all Vince Carter.
Oh, exactly. Steve Nash was probably the biggest Canadian name to play in the NBA up to this point. But Vince Carter is really the one that helped Canadian basketball rise to the top and become what it is today.
And now it's the Wiggins, Andrew Nicholsons,
Tyler Ennis, Nick Stauskas, all these guys that are going into
Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk. He had a great rookie.
Tristan Thompson,
of course, of the Cavs.
We're naming off so many.
I know, and that's the beauty of it. There's so many names that are out there. Before it was just Steve Nash, Jamal McGlure. The list was pretty thin, but now there's so many names on that list, and it's just fantastic to see. I am so happy to see the growth of Canada basketball. It's my favorite sport, as you all know, and it's just great.
The next Olympics, watch out for Canada.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. So what did you think of the interview with Andrew Nicholson? It was pretty cool to talk with him.
It was quite the honor.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was a real pleasure. Again, thank you to Andrew. And thank you guys for listening to Full Court Press, as always. Nard Dogg, of course, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere the listeners can follow you on.
My handles are the Nard Dogg 88 with 2 G's at the end.
Fantastic. Well, of course, you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JustinGoulet21. And if you want to catch previous episodes of Full Court Press, we've got tons of interviews with guys like Le'Veon West and Audley Stevenson and so many more. Go to Mixcloud.com and type in Full Court Press on the search bar. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for listening, and we will catch you all next week.
You've just been hit with Full Court Press. Courtesy of the men, the myths, the legends, Nard Dogg, and Raindrops